Long ago, Earth's resources ran dry, plunging the world into turmoil. Brilliant minds stepped up to rescue what remained of our civilization. Their solution? Genetically tweaked orchids as a new power source. But people still couldn't get along, so these brainiacs cooked up something called the transformation. Now, when kids hit Sweet 16, they go through a wild makeover that turns them into their ideal selves. These transformed folks are called Pretties, and they live it up in the city, happy as clams. No more fighting when everyone's perfect, right? The younger crowd, still waiting for their glow-up, are dubbed Uglies. They hang out in Uglyville's dorms. Our girl Tally can't wait to join the Pretty Club. She's always playing with this cool mirror app, imagining her post-transformation look. Tally's bestie is Peris. They've got cute nicknames for each other: Nose and Squint. Sometimes, they sneak out to the bridge after hours, using special glasses to spy on the Pretties' wild parties in the city. Tally's big day is coming up in 3 months, but Peris is older and about to get prettified tomorrow. They've got matching hand scars and pinky swear to keep them after the change. Just then, a nosy patrol drone buzzes by, sending them scurrying back to their rooms. During assembly the next day, Tally eavesdrops on some juicy gossip about the Smoke, a secret hideout beyond the city walls. Apparently this guy David runs the show there. Some folks think it's where people escape to, but most kids aren't buying it. Suddenly, Governor Cable pops up as a hologram, preaching about the awesomeness of being pretty and perfect. Then it's time for the 16-year-olds to head off for their transformations. Tally says bye to Peris, making plans to meet at their bridge spot in a month. That night, Tally watches the fireworks light up the sky, reminiscing about the day she met Peris. Her parents had just dropped her off at the dorms, and there was Peris right behind her in line. They clicked instantly, becoming besties in no time. There was this one time Peris accidentally nicked his hand while grabbing a tablet from Tally. So, what did she do? Got the same scar, of course. They made a pact to be friends forever. As the days roll by, Tally sticks to her routine, classes and mirror gazing. She keeps checking her fancy interface ring for messages from Peris, but no luck so far. A month flies by, and Tally's got a plan. She hacks her window open with her ring, then ditches it to avoid being tracked. Sneaking out, she makes her way to the bridge, but no Peris in sight. Getting antsy, she takes a risk and climbs under the bridge, inching her way to the city. Once there, she plays it cool, ducking behind plants. Lucky break, someone drops a mask, and Tally snags it. Boom, instant hologram dress. Now she's party ready, and boy, is she blown away by the shindig. Finally, she spots Peris, but he's like a whole new person. He doesn't even recognize her. Tally reveals herself, asking about their missed meetup. Peris gets all weird, saying things are different now. The kicker? His scar is gone. Talk about a change of heart. Suddenly, alarms blare. Tally's been busted. She bolts, ending up trapped on a balcony. In a split-second decision, she grabs a bungee jacket and takes the plunge. After a heart-stopping fall, she bounces to safety and makes a break for it. Just when she thinks she's in the clear, a drone zeroes in on her. But wait, here comes Shay, her classmate, swooping in on a hoverboard. They zoom off, leaving the drone in the dust, thanks to Shay's sick driving skills. To say thanks, Tally plays Rebel and swipes some snacks. The girls bond over being late bloomers in the pretty game. Surprise, surprise, they share a birthday. Instant best friend material. Next day, Shay tries teaching Tally to ride a hoverboard. Let's just say it doesn't go smoothly. At school, Tally's mind is blown when she sees actual books. The girls get all starry-eyed imagining life in the mysterious smoke. Tally borrows a book, but then gets ticked when she realizes Shay spilled the beans about her little adventure. She freaks, thinking she might lose her shot at being pretty. But Shay reassures her. The system wants everyone on board the pretty train. As time ticks by, Tally gets lost in her book but can't shake her pretty dreams. Shay keeps coaching her on hoverboard skills, while Tally plays tech whiz, scoring extra snacks. When Tally shows off her pretty designs, Shay's not buying it. Turns out, she's not psyched about the makeover at all. Tally becomes a hoverboard pro, and the girls have a blast zooming around on wild ramps. When Tally returns the book, she gushes about nature. Shay drops a bombshell. Maybe skipping the operation wouldn't be so bad. Tally thinks she's lost it. Out of the blue, Shay brings up the smoke. They ditch their rings and cruise over the river on hoverboards, landing in an ancient city's ruins. Shay gives Tally a crash course in old school stuff like roller coasters. In an abandoned building, Shay spills the beans. The smoke is real and David's on his way. She's bailing tonight and wants Tally to join, but Tally's not having it. She's set on being pretty. A bummed out Shay hands over directions to the smoke, just in case, before zipping off towards David's signal. Tally's big day arrives, but at the clinic she's left hanging. A guard whisks her away to Dr. Cable, who grills her about Shay's disappearance. Tally tries to play dumb, but her vitals give her away. Cable paints David as the bad guy, claiming he's brainwashed Shay. No surgery for Tally until she spills the beans. That night, surprise visitor, Peris. Tally fills him in, and he pushes her to come clean to Cable. The next day, Cable drops another bombshell. David's cooking up a weapon to attack the city. She needs Tally to go undercover. Tally agrees, and Cable promises her the surgery if she succeeds, along with a funky necklace to activate when she finds the weapon. Following Shay's clues, Tally hoverboards along an old roller coaster. She takes a tumble, but lands in a force field. There, she discovers abandoned train tracks, her path to the smoke. Tally's wild adventure kicks off as she puts her book smarts to the test, surviving in nature. She's seeing the world with fresh eyes, even conquering a mountain. Then comes the heart-stopping moment, a massive gap in the train tracks over a chasm. Tally revs up her hoverboard for a death-defying leap. The board dies mid-jump, and she plummets. Just when all seems lost, it roars back to life, whisking her to safety. Following the clues, Tally waits in a field of flowers. Meanwhile, back in the city, Cable's pulling strings. She reveals to Peris that his late-night visit to Tally was her doing. Peris admits feeling clearer-headed in town. Cable dangles a carrot, a new, exclusive procedure. Peris jumps at the chance. Tally's peaceful night turns chaotic when smoke chokes her awake. The flower field's ablaze. Just as panic sets in, a mystery rescuer swoops in. It's David. He scans Tally for trackers, finding one in the hoverboard but missing the necklace. Cable's team gets alerted and the hunt begins. Dawn breaks and Tally reaches a smoke outpost. Shay's thrilled to see her, but Croy's not buying it. That night, Shay spots the necklace and Tally fibs about its origin. Tally voices her concerns, sparking a heated debate. She agrees to give the smoke a shot. The next day brings shocking revelations. The smoke's fires? They're deliberate, aimed at destroying the toxic orchids. Tally's skeptical, clinging to the clean energy narrative. David drops a bombshell. It's all a government lie. The flowers are turning Earth into a wasteland. He invites Tally on a mission to prove it, despite Croy's objections. Shay steps up, vouching for her friend. The crew takes to the skies in a makeshift chopper, giving Tally a bird's-eye view of the orchid-ravaged wasteland. Shay goes to town with a flamethrower, torching the toxic blooms. Suddenly, Croy's gadget picks up incoming bogeys. David dips low, using smoke as cover. The sudden move sends Shay tumbling. With Cable's goons closing in, Tally improvises. She ties a bag to the rope for weight, tosses it off, and slides down to find her friend. Amidst the inferno, Tally spots Shay. When a scout gets too close for comfort, Tally grabs the flaming bag and hurls it at him. The girls cling to the rope as the chopper zooms off, narrowly escaping a scout's grasp. Back on terra firma, Croy smells a rat, pointing fingers at Tally, but Shay's got her back and David's impressed by her gutsy move. That night, guilt gnaws at Tally as she recalls Cable's manipulation lessons. Unable to sleep, she stumbles upon David taking a dip and scurries back, red-faced. Blindfolded, Tally finally reaches the smoke. It's a thriving community, rough around the edges but full of life. The food's tastier when you grow it yourself, she admits. Everyone pulls their weight, even the oldies. No cash here, just sharing and trading. Freedom of choice is the golden rule. One day, Tally's curiosity leads her to a mysterious door, but Croy catches her snooping. She throws herself into community life, recycling train tracks, braving spicy grub, and dancing around the fire. David gives Tally a crash course in crossbow hunting. After a few misfires, she nails the target. On their stroll back, David drops a bombshell. He's a wild child, born and raised outside the city. Tally's mind reels, having barely known her own folks. David gifts her a pair of handmade gloves. The mood shifts when a wounded smoke member returns, warning of supercharged scouts lurking nearby. Later, Shay spots Tally's new accessories and spills the tea. In smoke culture, that's a big deal. She urges Tally to make up her mind and stop stringing them along. David takes Tally on a walk, and she brings up whispers of a city-destroying weapon. Intrigued, David leads her to a secluded house where she meets Az and Maddie, his parents and the smoke's secret librarians. These ex-government cosmetic surgeons spill some shocking tea. The pretty makeover? It's not just skin deep, it rewires brains, turning folks into happy-go-lucky dummies ripe for state control. Oh, and it's killed a bunch of people too. Hush hush, of course. When Cable caught wind of their discovery, she swiped their research. Turns out some state workers got a special cure to keep their wits sharp. Az and Maddie chose the woods over brainwashing, growing old au naturel. They've been cooking up their own cure, but they're missing a key ingredient. This half-baked serum? That's the big bad weapon everyone's been whispering about. Post-revelation, Tally chucks her necklace into the flames, pledging allegiance to the smoke. She tries to confess her sins to David, but he's all about her new leaf. Cue the romantic kiss. But hold up, that tossed necklace starts sparking. Come morning, all hell breaks loose, city aircraft swoop in, guns blazing, rebels scatter, but these souped-up scouts are crushing their traps like tin cans. Tally and David find a hidey hole, watching in horror as their friends get nabbed. Plot twist, Peris is now a scout. Cable rolls up, demanding David's whereabouts. When Az and Maddie zip their lips, Cable orders Peris to off Az. David and Tally rush to intervene, but they're too late. Cable drops the bomb. Tally's been her mole all along. The smoke crew's trust in her goes up in smoke. Amidst the chaos, quick-thinking Maddie slips the serum to David on the sly. The scene unfolds with a flurry of action. Cable's announcement of mandatory surgery sparks Tally into action. She sets the supply shack ablaze and grabs a crossbow, narrowly escaping through a window as a scout tries to break in. The resulting explosion gives David his chance to flee, with Tally taking down his pursuer using her newfound weapon. Peris is eager to join the chase, but Cable orders a hasty retreat. In the chaos, scouts destroy Maddie's valuable research and set fire to the area, while others force the prisoners onto an aircraft. Once the dust settles, David gathers what little supplies remain for a daring rescue mission. Tension mounts as Tally approaches David, who nearly attacks her with a knife. Trust is fragile between them, but Tally convinces him of her worth. She knows the city, and he doesn't. Their uneasy alliance begins. Back in the city, Tally introduces David to students familiar with Shay's book, proving the smoke's existence. She borrows an interface ring and rallies the youth for a distraction. Soon, the sky is filled with hoverboard-riding teens proclaiming, "The smoke lives." Seizing their moment, David and Tally infiltrate the clinic via the aircraft tunnel, using hoverboards and bungee vests for a stealthy entry. Their plan hits a snag when Tally's hacked ring fails to open a locked door. Suddenly, a Pretty appears, leading to a brief but intense scuffle with David. Tally secures the Pretty's ring, and they lock him out as alarms blare. Racing against time, the duo locates and frees the prisoners. But there's a heart-wrenching revelation. Shay has already undergone the dreaded surgery. The rescue mission is far from over, and the stakes have never been higher. The rescue mission takes a heartbreaking turn as David, Tally, and Maddie discover Shay has already been transformed into a Pretty. Despite Tally's tearful apologies, Shay insists she's thrilled with her new state. Their moment of despair is interrupted by Cable and Peris, who attempt to force the trio into surgery machines. Just as the procedure begins, chaos erupts. The Smoke's helicopter appears, with Croy wielding a flamethrower. The distraction allows our heroes to escape, but not before Maddie grabs a crucial component. On the roof, a tense confrontation unfolds between Tally and Peris. She tries to awaken his memories, but a misunderstanding leads to a violent scuffle between Peris and David. In a shocking twist, Tally's intervention sends Peris plummeting over the edge, his final words echoing their shared past. The group's daring escape is aided by rebellious teens causing havoc in the sky. They find refuge in the abandoned city, where Maddie works on a potential cure. Faced with uncertainty, Tally bravely volunteers to be the test subject, planning to infiltrate the enemy and signal if the cure works. As Cable closes in, the group parts ways. Tally surrenders, setting in motion a dangerous gambit. We later see her living the life of a perfect Pretty, but a hidden scar reveals her true self, a spy playing a perilous long game.